I'm about to show y'all how a solar eclipse work and a lunar eclipse work on a flat earth. Now let me start by saying that everything that I learned about the sun, moon, and stars comes from the book of Enoch. And the more I read the book of Enoch, the more I realize why they don't want people to read it. The book of Enoch clearly says that the sun and moon are the same size. But it also says that the sunlight is sevenfold brighter than that of the moon. Now, based off of the Bible and the book of Enoch, I believe that the sun is translucent and the moon is transparent. Now, a lunar eclipse only occurs during the full moon, when the sun and the moon are on different sides of the ecliptic. And the lunar eclipse occurs during the new moon, when the sun and the moon are crossing each other at the ecliptic and aligned. Now, when you read Enoch 74, chapter 7 and 8, verse 7 says, "And when she goes forth from the fourth portal, and she goes forth 7 days until she goes forth from the fifth, and turns back again in 7 days into the fourth portal, and accomplishes all her light." Now, I know all that was confusing, but I promise I'm going to break it down. Now, I know when y'all heard the word portals, this probably came to y'all mind. Now, this right here will be crazy, but this is not what he was talking about at all. This is what he was talking about right here. The sun and the moon rotates around the flat earth on these tracks, or like Enoch said, portals. But the book of Enoch also says that the sun moves like it's on a chariot. And this is how he envisioned them traveling through the portals. Honestly, I think people don't like the book of Enoch because they read it and then they get confused. So Enoch seen it like that, but this is how it really is. They go around the track. And this is how we see analemmas, a sun analemma and a moon analemma. They go around the track. And the way that they make this corkscrew rotation makes perfect sense to why a solar and lunar eclipse are so rare. Now, the book of Enoch says that the sun moves like it's on a chariot because the sun moves way faster than the moon. So in order for a solar eclipse to happen, the sun has to catch up to the moon during the new moon phase, and they have to be on the same side of the ecliptic. And it would look like this. It's that simple, man. The sun and the moon rotate around the flat earth like a clock. And the more they rotate around the clock, being that the sun is faster, they are bound to line up with each other. Now there you have it, a solar eclipse. Now what you have to understand is the sun and moon don't travel at the speed of light. They travel with time. Now we about to talk about a lunar eclipse because a lot of flat earthers get tongue-tied on this topic. But like I said, the book of Enoch mentions all of this. Now what you have to understand is at times throughout the year, the sun in a full moon will be closer than other times as they race around the track. Now, in order for a lunar eclipse to happen, the sun and a full moon have to be on different sides of the ecliptic. Now, before I continue, this right here makes absolutely no sense. That's why a heliocentric lunar eclipse, it cannot be observed nor repeated here on Earth. And this is a prime example right here. The only reason why this white ball has a blue light is because this blue ball is hollow. And another thing, based off of how we rotate around the sun, we should see a red moon way more often than usual. I mean, you can even say the same thing about a solar eclipse. It doesn't make it a rare moment because it doesn't make sense. Now, anything that you put behind the shadow is going to be the same color of the shadow, black. Now, let's get back into this lunar eclipse. I'm about to show y'all real proof that this happened in real life. Now, watch this.
6:30 in the morning. It's about 18 degrees out here. We're standing on top of Cahokia Mounds, just east of St. Louis. Behind me is a full moon, which will soon be going into a full lunar eclipse as it sets, kind of a rare experience. While at the same time behind us, the sun is already beginning to rise. So this could be a very interesting and beautiful experience.
Now, this is a very rare video because this is a very rare moment. The sun and the moon are on different sides of the ecliptic, but they are way closer on the firmament. Another thing that you need to pay attention to is the shadow during this very eclipse right here. Gives a demonstration of the lunar eclipse and an explanation to what I meant by that shadow.
Clockwise, just as the sun does. Okay? If the sun's on the other side of the earth, it still has to cross the light of that sun. Now I'm going to show you what happens when it crosses the light of that sun on the other side of the earth. Now watch the shadow on the moon as we make our circuit around the earth. We eventually cross over the path of the sun on the other side of the earth. Check out the shadow. Okay, here's your lunar eclipse right here. See the shadow move up? It stays on there for 4 hours till the moon passes back, and then it goes off the other side of it. Same thing here with the lunar eclipse. See how it comes up the left side? It stays on the moon for 4 hours, and then it comes off the right top side. Same thing here. Once again, comes up the left, shadow of darkness for 4 hours, then boom, it comes back up the right top side of the moon.
Now, this is what happens when lights overlap each other. This is what happens when the greater light and the lesser light overlap each other. Now, I believe that the sun is an orange light and I believe that the moon is a gray light. And this is what happens when those two colors mix. And you could do this with red and gray, yellow and gray. It's going to make the same color. I promise you. That's the color of your lunar eclipse. So that's how a solar eclipse and lunar eclipse works on the flat earth. It's really that simple.